And we are live. What's going on, YouTube Live? It is your boy, Billy Rowe. Today is Wednesday. I'd like to welcome you to the first row. And if it is Wednesday, you should know what that means. It's time for the Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it. Tonight's topic is opening the opportunity door. As always, I like to share what I mean by my topic. What do I mean by opening the opportunity door? So really what I mean by that topic is seizing opportunities, but not just seizing them when they're lying around and easily accessible, but like if they're behind the door, seize them behind the door. Be willing to make an effort to get through the door. Don't just sit waiting to come across the doors that are open in life. There are some doors that you're going to have to put some effort forth in to get open, whether that's knocking or maybe you have to use a battering ram to get into it. I don't know. But there's some doors that you're going to have to open in regards to opportunities. And so that's what I mean by today's topic of opening the opportunity door. For those opportunities that are not just laying in the open, that don't just fall in your lap, be willing to put forth the effort to get those doors open. So as always with tonight, I got 3 tools for you for the first row in regards to opening the opportunity door. I hope you guys enjoy. So let's jump straight into it. The very first tool when it comes to opening the opportunity door that really resonated with me and felt very important to bring to the light was removing the limits on your success. And this is funny because the reason this tool is so important to me is because for myself personally in my life with opportunities where they have been behind the door and they haven't been easily accessible for me. Sometimes the reason I didn't seize those opportunities and the reason I didn't get those opportunities was because I placed a limit on myself saying, oh, you're not ready for that, or, oh, you don't know how to do particular A, B, and C. And so this opportunity can't be for you right now because your insecurities, Billy. But really what it does, when the reason this tool is so important to that is because when you start removing the limits on your success, you start being able to jump outside of your comfort zone. And so a lot of times I think what happens, and I can say it's happened for me in the past, it doesn't happen so much today, but it's happened for me a lot in the past where I was focused on the wrong person. I wasn't even focused on me. I was focused on the abilities and the efforts of others and whether or not they could achieve the goals that I was setting for myself. And in some ways, it's okay to look at other people as maybe to glean some of the information from their experience on whether something is possible or plausible. But on the other hand, when it comes to seizing an opportunity, like a genuine opportunity, the main person we should be looking at every single day is the person we see in the mirror every time we get in front of a mirror, is ourselves. And instead of limiting our abilities based on somebody else's success or somebody else's failure, and you can put that the other way as well, instead of limiting ourselves based on that, we can unlimit ourselves or make ourselves unlimited, remove the limits from ourselves by truly focusing on not only what we bring to the table, but what we're willing to go and get so that it can be at the table when we want to get through that door. Sometimes it's getting the right key so that you can unlock the door to get the opportunity. That may be in the sense of education, in the sense of forming the right relationships, in the sense of carrying yourself in the right manner and developing the right character or the right reputation. Sometimes that's what you have to go and get in order to get the door to open. But sometimes it's just about saying, you know what, I'm going to get outside of my comfort zone and put myself in front of that door and make a choice that this door is going to be one of the doors that I really work to open up. The other thing about removing the limits on your success is it's really important after you get done looking at yourself, look at the people that you have around you. And the best way I could describe this is I was thinking about how if a duck was raised as a chicken or with chickens. Chickens obviously are not known for their amazing flight ability. They can get up for a little bit and maybe get some air in a jump or so, but they don't fly very long distances. However, ducks are capable of flight. But if I was a duck that was raised around chickens and I never seen anybody else take off and fly for longer than 2 seconds, as a duck, I might think, well, this is only as far as I can fly. I can only fly for 2 seconds. And I would limit myself from my true ability of flight. So the question is when, well, not the question, but the solution is when you start removing your limits based on the people around you, after you figure out what you want from yourself inwardly, once you look at the people that are around you, you can start saying, are these the type of people that I want to be around? Do I want to be around a bunch of chickens if I really am I ducking need to be flying? So don't limit yourself. Remove that limit, that mental limit that you may have implanted, that somebody else may have implanted. In the words of Jennifer Chambers, those trauma-based traditions, remove those so that you can be in the position to begin to open the opportunity doors that are in front of you, and you won't be you won't back down for those or shy away from those opportunities to open new opportunities. So that's tool number one: remove the limits from your success. Tool number two is allow your belief to propel you. Really allow your belief to be your fuel. So the reason I say this is because the first tool was more about removing doubt, removing the barriers that keep you from even going to the door. But the second tool about allowing your beliefs to propel you is almost like saying, have faith that the door will open. Because if you don't have any faith or any belief that the door will open, you will never travel to the door. Many of us, week after week, in America, we travel to grocery stores. Every single day, there's somebody in a grocery store. And when we travel to these grocery stores, we're going there for food, cleaning supplies, whatever it may be. But we go with the assumption that what we are looking for, what we seek, what we desire is going to be at the store that we're going to. We never get out of our house and go to a grocery store and say, man, I hope there's food there today. I hope that they have some things that I can buy and consume today. If that was the case, we might call the store like, hey, y'all got food today? Or if it was a regular basis where the store didn't have food, we wouldn't be going to the store for food. We'd be like, okay, well, let me go and see what the garden has produced today. Let me go and see what my neighbors have that I can barter with them for some things in order to get food. So it's really important to allow your beliefs to propel you when it comes to opening the door, because if you don't have the proper belief and you don't have the proper faith, what will happen is you will never set out on the journey to get to the doors that are closed. Or what you'll do is you'll find yourself walking on the sidewalk of life, looking and say, nope, the door isn't open. I'm not going up the walkway. Looking, nope, the door is not open. And I'm not going up the walkway. Oh, the door is open. Okay, I'll go and take a look at that opportunity. And you'll only be cherry picking the lowest hanging fruit, which in the farming world or in the harvest world, the lowest hanging fruit is not necessarily the best fruit of the tree, because guess what? Everything that you can reach at the lowest part of the fruit or the lowest part of the fruit tree, somebody else can reach as well. So that fruit can be contaminated. That fruit can just be kind of rotten or picked at, depending on birds or animals got to it. What you want to do is move up the tree and get the opportunities where, hey, this fruit is really good and nobody else has contaminated it and nobody else is taking it. So this is a true untapped opportunity. So it's almost like finding a gold mine and nobody's ever mined any gold out of it. So all the gold is still there. So this tool, as far as allowing your beliefs to propel you, is really, again, about traveling to the door and being willing to take the risk that you might get to the door and find out, oh, I have the wrong key. Oh, I don't have the right education. Oh, I don't have the right relationship. Oh, this door is not the right door. That just takes way too much effort to open the door. And who knows what the return is on the other side. These are the things you might find when you get to the door. However, at least allow your belief that there is something greater for you in life to propel you to make that journey. And again, this door is just a metaphorical thing. It could be a relationship that you're trying to get into. It could be a job that you're trying to get into. It could be a hobby that you're trying to get into, a network. It could be anything, but allow your belief to propel you to the location so that you can at least have an opportunity to get to the door. And so then that brings on tool number 3. Tool number 3 is always, I'm finding that the third tool for me normally centers around action. And so tool number 3 has to do with simply knock. It does not matter if I drive from here all the way to California and I get to the door that I'm interested in being at, but the door is closed and I just stand there. And I can stand there and maybe hope that somebody comes to the door to exit the building to let me in or to give me the opportunity. Or I could stand there and the person could leave out the garage and never see me standing at their door, and I'll just be standing at a door. It does not matter how far you travel to get to a door. What matters is that you knock on the door. What matters is that you make an effort to let your presence be known to those on the other side. It matters to let your presence be known to the opportunity on the other side of the door. So that tool number 3 is like, you can do tool number 1 and number 2 all day long. But if you're just standing at the door because your beliefs have propelled you that there is something greater for you on the other side of that door and you don't knock, guess what? You may never know what's behind door 1, 2, or 3. And then we knock on these doors when it comes to opportunities. When it comes to opportunities, we knock on these doors with multiple means. So it might be a physical knock, but in these opportunity doors, it's normally something along the lines of our attitude, something of our demeanor or our character, or something about our confidence level that knocks on that door and says to the opportunity on the other side, yeah, they're ready for this. They're ready to be promoted to the next level in their career. They're ready to move this relationship to the next level from boyfriend and girlfriend to fiance to husband and wife. They're ready for retirement. They're ready to stop working and retire. It's something about our something within us. I think it's inherently in us, but there's something that is in us that lets the opportunity know that we are ready. And it's almost like those magic words, abracadabra, and the door opens. The thing is, though, is that I will say there is a difference between the easy win and something that you work for. So I guess what I would say is something that is what you work for versus what is given. Though the given in opportunities is the doors that are wide open for you. My father owns a successful business and it's going to be handed down to me. That's an easy win. It can be. I don't want to say that it always is, because it can be an easy win. However, there are some times where you will have a worked for result that feels like an easy win. The reason it feels like an easy win is because when you got to the door, you were prepared with the right key. So whether that's education, whether that's reading the right types of books and getting your mind ready for it, whether that's learning how to speak articulately, you were ready by the time you got to the door. And it feels like, wow, the door might as well have just been open. It feels like somebody left the door cracked open for you. So all you had to do was tap it and the door opened. However, that can be a work for result that just you proactively did the work. But sometimes you'll get there and it's like, okay, well, there's some more work that you need to do. And those work for results, when you work for that result and you obtain that opportunity, even sometimes if you lose out on the opportunity, what it does is it gives you a different feeling of reward. Like, I can't even put it into words, but it gives you a different feeling of feeling like you truly accomplished something, and you know wholeheartedly that it was not given to you, that you worked for it to get it, to take it, to acquire it. Now the easy stuff, the things that are given up front, the first thing that came to my mind in regards to this was in relationships. It is very easy to be, when you're outside of a relationship, to have kind of like, I'll call them loose standards. And I don't mean sexually loose standards. I just mean loose standards on who you spend your time with. And then it's also easy to just spend time with whoever's willing to spend time with you. But the work for result in building a relationship when you're single and spending time with people, the work for result really, it has a lot to do with keeping your focus and your attention on what you truly want. So if I'm attracted to a woman, and I'm a sapiosexual, so I'm attracted to people because of their intelligence. Like, I have to be physically attracted to you, but your intelligence is going to keep me attracted to you, and your depth is going to keep me attracted to you. And so if I'm attracted to a woman like that, that woman comes with a certain standard of work that has to be done on my part. I can't be like, well, I like intellectual women, but I want to talk about Pokemon Go all day. That's just not going to work out. She's going to be like, okay, that was cute in the first conversation that you have a little Pokemon Go hobby, but we can't talk about current events. We can't talk about intellectual events. So it's nice that you're attracted to my intellect. However, you don't carry the bandwidth to be able to deal with my intellect or absorb my intellect on an ongoing basis. Now, in that work, it's easy to say, okay, well, then I'm just going to veer over to somebody who requires less demands of me or requires less intellect of me. It's easy to veer into that. But if you keep that priority on the thing that you're willing to work for, then eventually the same ease that you can get somebody who does not have the intellectual conversation will be the same ease that you can get somebody who does have the same intellectual capacity that you do have. So that's the tool number 3, is really about knocking, but it's about taking action, being willing to put in the work so that you can truly get that opportunity on the other side of the door that is meant for you, instead of just kind of squirreling off with something that's not worth the energy that you're going to expend in it because it was easy to get to. And then actually, here I have a fourth bonus tool for the first row. And this is really simple and it's really quick. And this is after you have removed your limits, after you have taken your journey and fueled yourself with your belief, after you have knocked on the door and the door is open and you're on the other side. Realize that just because you've entered into one door, you are now in a building that has multiple other doors that can be open and or closed. So realize there is more than one door in the building, meaning there is more than one opportunity in the building. And the best example you can use with that is work. A lot of people get employed, they go through all these interviews, they get into the company that they work for, and then they just sit in the capacity that they were hired in, and they never strive or push to acquire greater positions, greater responsibility, greater income, or whatever it may be. They don't really strive for it. They just sit in their contentment in the seats that they started in. And sometimes they'll retire there. And if that's what you're passionate about, there's no shade to you. Be in the seat that you want to be in. However, for myself, I have always had the standpoint of whatever building I'm going into with whatever company and whatever it is that I'm doing, my goal is to be in the place that is most effective for me and the place that I'm going to be able to earn the most income in that most effective place. Because if I'm going to come to the same building anyway, and there's a difference of me making $20,000 a year or $100,000 a year, I might as well try to come into the same building every day and make $100,000 a year. So that's the bonus tool for you. There is more than one door in every single building. Do not settle for just getting through the very first door. So as always with the Wednesday word, I like to share a personal story of mine that kind of got me thinking about this topic. And this time, the personal story is a little different for me when it comes to how I thought about this topic. I actually thought about this topic while I was having a dream, and the dream was significant enough for me to wake up and start writing out this particular Wednesday word. And the dream was about me rock climbing. And so I'm rock climbing in this place where, number one, I'm not a rock climber. I don't free climb, and I don't climb with safety gear. I just pretty much try to stay on the trail. I'll climb like a little bit, but just where if I fall, I don't hurt myself. But in this dream, I'm rock climbing. And first off, the dream immediately comes in and eliminates my limits. It like just removes completely the limit that, hey, Billy, you're not a rock climber. Well, guess what? In the dream, I'm a rock climber. So now, because I'm a lucid dreamer, I have to decide if I'm going to climb rocks or if I'm going to say, no, I'm not a rock climber, and change the dream to come back down to the ground. And so I'm climbing these rocks. And one of the things that it really got me thinking about being a rock climber is, as you're placing your hands and you're climbing up whatever the surface may be, a mountain, a cliff, or whatever, as you're making these this ascension up the place wherever you're at, it's almost like you're not really guaranteed the next handhold, the next grip. You kind of have to work for it as you climb. Like, okay, I'm going to climb, I'm going to work and get to this point, and I'm going to hold on and I'm going to get to this point. And then you might get to a place where it's like, wow, you can't even really climb anymore. Or is it you really can't see the opportunity that's there? And this is where my dream really kind of taught me this aspect of just being willing to only go through the doors that are open. Because in my dream, I reached a place where I didn't have any more grips and it looked like a dead end to me. However, on the other side of this mountain or whatever I was on, I could hear somebody talking to me. Now, I listened to a lot of inspirational speakers. So the person I was hearing on the other side was E.T. Eric Thomas. And he was not like, oh, you can do it, buddy. No, he was like, come on, you didn't come this far to give up. You didn't come this high to climb back down. Push through, push through. And so I start like reaching and feeling for my next grip. And all of a sudden I find this place where it's loose. However, it wasn't just like loose and I'd be able to climb up. It was like loose. And then I'd have to raise a lot of rock in order to get to the top of the mountain. And as I'm raising this rock, I start realizing like, man, how many people in life turn back when they run into their first roadblock? How many people in life get to that closed door and say, you know what? I'm going to just go back home. I don't need to knock. How many times do we actually do that? How many times do we limit ourselves? How many times, if we had the ability to fly, do we not take flight because of the fact that we didn't look at ourselves in the mirror and said, you know what? Today, anything is possible. Today, any win is possible. How many of us have turned back? I can tell you I'm guilty of doing that multiple times in life. Probably will do it a couple more times, even though I'm sharing this Wednesday word. These are lessons for me too. But as I got to the top of that mountain, the thing that was very interesting was there was a person earlier in the dream that I was following that was on the other side of that mountain. And it was like, wow, this person was right here. And I almost turned back and missed out on pursuing them any further. And so for me, that's really what this Wednesday word is about. And that's how that dream kind of spoke to me, is about really, again, the tools. Remove the limits on the success that I had. I can only climb this high. No, let's remove that. Oh, I'm not a rock climber. No, let's remove that. And then allowing my belief to propel me to the top of the mountain, not just when it got hard and I got stuck on the mountain, to the top of the mountain, allowing that to propel me because I believed, obviously, because I'm a lucid dreamer, that there was a top to the mountain. If I didn't believe that, there wouldn't have been a top, and I would have had a dream of just climbing and maybe not came up with this Wednesday word. Then to put that effort forth, to actually knock when I got to that spot that was difficult, to actually put effort and action into finding where the next grip was instead of simply going back down the mountain. And then last but not least, once I got on the other side of that mountain and to the top of that mountain, seeing the opportunity that was there and not just saying, whoo, I made it to the top of the mountain, yay me. No, I made it to the top of the mountain, and this person that I'm really interested in is up here. Let me go ahead and pursue that opportunity now. So that's the Wednesday word for you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. The next time you will see me live on the first row will be on Wednesday next week, October 30th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I look forward to you guys tuning in. For those who are tuning in live, thank you for rocking with me live. For those who are watching via the replay, thank you for watching on the replay. I look forward to the next time that we engage. Until the next time, if you like this video, share it. If you share it, like it. I'm always happy to engage with you in the chats or in the live feed comments, or in the live chats or in the comments up to the first 7 days of the video being posted. And then after that, we move on to the next video. But other than that, thank you guys for rocking with me on the first row. Until the next time, one love, peace, and God bless.